Good morning, beloveds. It's hot. I say that. It's July. I know this. Um, when I got up and looked at my phone at about 6:30 this morning, it said it was 80 degrees out there with feels like 85. We went for the run anyway. Um, so I'm not doing this tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go for a bike ride. But the cool thing we were coming around a corner, and we saw a bird land in the top of course, at the top of a very tall tree, but we're pretty sure it's a hawk. And of course, because it's at the top of a very tall tree, the pictures are awful. But I went ahead and posted them. Okay, they're posted on my page. Um, so, and I'm hoping that I can zoom it in without losing too much definition once they're posted. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. But it was exciting. And I'm awake this morning. That doesn't always happen. Although I can already feel it up in these muscles right here, because I do foam rolling, which I hate the foam rolling, but I have one of those foam rolls that it's 3 feet. I think it's 3 feet. And so basically what I do is I lay on it and align my spine on it. And so I laid down and I stretched my arms out like this, and these muscles right here went, oh, you worked out yesterday. So today could be an interesting day. It's interesting, like the day of the workout, I don't feel it, but the next day, I'll wake up a little stiff. I'll shake it out during the run, and then gradually, as the day goes by, it gets stiffer and stiffer. And I'm like, oh, I worked out yesterday, yay! But, and ironic, I love the topic today. Okay, today is July 29th, and our title is I Have Health. And our Bible quote, there's actually two quotes smashed together. The Lord will take away from thee all sickness. I am the Lord that healeth thee. So that is Deuteronomy 7:15 and Exodus 15:26. Health is a state of wholeness in mind and in body. The body is the servant of the mind, and the mind is the offspring of pure spirit. Thus, the Bible tells us that we are spirit, soul, or mind, and body. These three really are one and supposed to work in perfect union with each other. They do this when the mind lifts its countenance to the spirit, permitting its flow of harmony, unity, and beauty a clear passageway. The body will always reflect this inner poise. Realizing that the source of all being is within and at the center of my own being, I consciously unite myself with this center and with this source. I expect to be made whole. I expect to radiate health and vitality wherever I go. It is my will, my desire, and my acceptance that I be made whole. Today, I know that my health, my physical well-being, as well as my mental poise and peace are drawn from an infinite source of perfection. Today, I know that the Lord, the law of good, is the healing presence of life, forever restoring my mind and my physical being. I pray to, or commune with, this spirit within me. Thus, I am made whole. All right. So, it's interesting that today, and there's a whole lot of conversation going on right now about health, partly because the Olympics are going on, and to compete in the Olympics you pretty much have to be peak physical condition, and there's been a lot of talk surrounding mental health, which was kicked off a couple of months ago by Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, who just straight up said, I'm not doing this anymore. Or I'm taking a break from the press interviews after the tennis matches. Can you imagine what it would be like to physically exhaust yourself and then go to a press conference and be peppered with questions, mostly from people who have never played your sport? And she was like, look, you know what? I'm not in the place in my mind to do this. I'm not doing it. Good for her. And then now the most recent example is Simone Biles, who is this amazing athlete who, in the middle of a vault, her mind and her body disconnected. And I can't even imagine what that would be like. Even though, I mean, I've had that inkling, I've had that moment where my mind and my body are going, wait, no. But to do that, doing what she's doing, no thank you, no thank you. And she had the grace and the strength of character to say, no, I'm not going to do this to myself. I am going to step back and I am going to give my mind and my body a chance to heal and reconnect. And honestly, I think that takes more courage and more strength, especially at the level that she's at, than anything else. So it's like, and so she took the time. She took the time to realign, which is what this is talking about. The body is a servant of the mind. Which then I will totally get up on my soapbox about mental health. Because if the mind is not well, then the body doesn't function at its peak efficiency. So Simone said, yeah, no, my mind is disconnected. I need time to realign. And she had the courage to say, I'm going to step back and I'm going to take care of myself. And so that's what she has done. She is taking care of herself. She is realigning her mind and her spirit and her body, and she will come out stronger. And it has allowed these other young women to shine. You know, she's right there with him. She's cheering for him. She's like, you got this, you got this. So I have health. I have health. And it is about alignment. It is about aligning the soul and the mind and the spirit and the body. It is about recognizing who we are, where we come from, what we're made of, and where we draw our power from. And it is about knowing when we need a break. When we need a break. And where to go to get that break. So, I have health. And the Deuteronomy line, 7:15, the Lord will take away from thee all sickness. And then the Exodus 15:26, I am the Lord that healeth thee. Sometimes we got to slow down and let the Lord do the work. Let Spirit do the work. Because sometimes what we need is a rest. Sometimes what we need is a rest. And if you do not think that those Olympic athletes are under a great deal of pressure, you hadn't been paying attention. I mean, I run 5Ks. And that's a lot of pressure for me. And it's pressure I'm putting on myself. I can't imagine having the world put that kind of pressure on me. You know, they are incredible, and I think they're truly aligned. They're aligned with their spirit. Health is a state of wholeness in mind and body. You need both. The body is the servant of the mind, and the mind is the offspring of pure spirit. And that's what she said. There was a disconnect between her mind and her body. So the body is the servant of the mind. If the mind is not well, so it's up to us to take care of that mind. And we have a variety of ways of doing that because the mind is the offspring of pure spirit. So one, we do have a physical mind, the brain. The brain is an organ. So we have the responsibility of feeding it appropriately, taking care of it, resting it, doing all of that. So we have to take care of the physical organ. And when those hormones are off in that organ, it's just the same as if we had broken something else. If we broke a bone, it's the same as having our brain not working. You know, there's no shame. I want to reduce the stigma of mental illness because that is an organ that is not working. But there's another part of the mind, which is the offspring of pure spirit, which is healed by spiritual practice. So there are multiple pathways to fix the mind. The organ that holds the mind needs to be cared for, as well as the spirit that is part of the mind. Both. And if either one of them is not working, they deserve appropriate and proper care. Which means if you need the medication, take the medication. And if you need a rest, take the rest. Thus, the Bible tells us that we are spirit, soul, in quotes, or mind, or in parentheses, or mind, and the body. These three really are one and supposed to work in perfect unison with each other. Goswami would argue the same thing, the Amit Goswami. He gives you 5 bodies instead of just 3 that Ernest is talking about. But bliss body and material body, and then the steps in between, they work together. And you can use the bliss body or the mind to heal the body. But you can also use material to support that healing. They do this when the mind lifts its countenance to the spirit, permitting its flow of harmony, unity, and beauty to clear a passageway. This is what Goswami is talking about. The bliss body is God's idea of us. And God's idea is whole and perfect and functions perfectly the way it's supposed to. Now notice, I frequently remind you that perfect means whole. So everybody is not going to function the same. I'm not meant to be a marathon runner. But 5Ks are within my wheelhouse, that's what it is. So they do this when the mind lifts it. So we aim for that bliss body, God's idea of us. And we filter that down through into the material body. And then we also use the material supports that support the body. The body will always reflect this inner poise. When we are aligned, when our mind, when our body, when our spirit is aligned, everything works better. I have health. That is how we get there. Realizing that the source of all being is within and at the center of my own being. This is what Reverend Jesse calls the place where nothing has ever been wrong. What I like to call it is the place where we meet that unfiltered God. The place we go to get a look at the blueprint of who God thinks we are. I consciously unite myself with this center and with this source. Not who people have told me I am, but who God knows me to be. I expect to be made whole. I expect to radiate health and vitality wherever I go. It is my will, my desire, and my acceptance that I be made whole. That last little word in there, acceptance, that's a key part. That's a key part. You got to be willing to accept what you're asking for. It also helps to know what you're asking for, because sometimes we can confuse the message a little bit, because it's like, okay, this is what I've been told I want, then this is what I want, and then the spirit goes, so what do you want? And what are you willing to accept? Today, I know that my health, my physical well-being, as well as my mental poise and peace are drawn from an infinite source of perfection, an infinite source of wholeness. So, my mental poise and peace are drawn from an infinite source. They are drawn from spirit. A source that will never run out, and a source that is love. Today, I know that the Lord, the law of good, is the healing presence of life, forever restoring my mind and my physical being. A healing presence. If God is not a healing presence in your life, then it's time to reevaluate your idea of God. Because what we believe is that God is a patterning intelligence, a divine mind, is love, is creativity, is creation, is peace, is joy, is harmony. If that's not who God is to you, please reevaluate what you have been taught about God and contrast that with your experience of. I pray to or commune with this spirit within me, thus I am made whole, which is a big argument for spiritual practice. It is a huge argument for spiritual practice. We want to align our mind and our body. We want to align with God's idea of us, not what we have been told about us, but with God's idea of us. And God loves us. Period. It is in the Bible. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. Align with that idea. All right, our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to consciously unite ourselves with the center of our own being. And from this source, draw our mental poise and peace. Go to that unfiltered God, that place where nothing has ever been wrong. Sit there. Fill up with that and bring that back to this. Bring that back to this. Align that spirit, mind, and body. And while you're doing that, please do something loving for yourself. Please do something kind for yourself. Please do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it looks like. Whatever that looks like. Because you deserve your own loving, kind compassion. Always. And the more you practice upon yourself, the more you will have to share with everybody that you come in contact with. It's the way it works. Practice makes permanent. It really does. It really does. So, and whatever else you're going to do, I did note that it was 80 degrees at 6:30 this morning. So if you were going to engage your mind and your body outside, please do it early and drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water. And when I say that, when I encourage you to drink plenty of water, what I am trying to say is take care of yourself. You are loved. That is my way of saying, please take care of yourself. A face full of sun first thing in the morning, 5-10 minutes, it can really reset all of those hormones. It can really help with that mental alignment. It can. It's science. And we are science of mind. And I'm being silly. Whatever else you are going to do today, please open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us. It is up to us to consciously open our eyes, see the beauty around us, see that heaven around us, and make more of that. All right, beloveds. It's Thursday. The only thing that I know that's going on, because I thought that we were starting a treatment and meditation class on Thursdays, but that is going to be on Sundays, and it starts in 2 weeks, so you've got some time for that. So Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back on Facebook Live with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. You can always catch me on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. That's where these things are archived. And the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. There's a lot of amazing stuff on that. Other than that, do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day, a fantastic day, an amazing day. And honestly, if that is too much pressure, have a day. have a day. But do know, whatever else, you are loved. All right, beloveds? I will see you tomorrow.